This story is dedicated to all those creatures out there who make our earth so rich and fertile, but get no respect. Here's to you, slug, worm, termite.
Merbles the bumslug was happy and fat. Without arms or legs, in the sun he just sat. Others thought him useless, but that wasn't true, for none of them realized just what he could do. See those lush gardens? They were not always there. Before Merbles appeared, the ground was quite bare. Listen closely, gather round, all ye young and old. Come hear the feats of Merbles, come watch it all unfold. A long time ago, in a cave underground, was an old barren desert where no plant could be found. The creatures that lived there were hardened by the land. They thought only of themselves and looked for food in the sand. It was into this void baby Merbles washed ashore. If he were left all alone, he would have been no more. Yet among these rough creatures was one all alone. Her heart was quite soft, though she grew from a stone. Lilybean, the mushroom, was as old as the cave. It was because of her kindness that Merbles was saved. News of Merbles spread quickly. Soon everyone knew. Sand cucumbers, river crabs, sky ponies too. They said, "Don't you keep him, he'll waste our supplies." They told her this bumslug would cause her demise. For each of these creatures had a short food supply, and how frightened they were if they ran out they'd die. But she loved her wee Merbles and knew they'd survive, for she saw that one day the desert would thrive. She'd once had a vision that the dry land would grow, that she'd see a miracle to make the desert glow. Among the river crab colony was a lonely outcast. His name was Terence, and he always came last. Terence had heart, but he didn't have a friend, until he met Merbles, on whom he could depend. When Merbles grew big, he became hard to feed. The desert had nothing, but the two had great need. Everything was helpless, the small family thought. Then Terence, by chance, found a plump apricot. "An apricot!" cried Lilybean, glowing happily. "They haven't been seen here in over a century." Terence offered it to Merbles, 'cause he had enough. He said, "I know things for you guys have been pretty tough." "Thank you," they replied to the generous lad. So Merbles ate it and loved it, which made Terence glad. But those few apricots that Terence could find were just not enough to get them out of this bind. Terence just couldn't watch his best friends waste away, for he knew of a place where more apricots may lay. Up a tall rocky crag, so far from the ground, was where he imagined more fruit could be found. For his friend, he decided to put it all on the line. He brought a sack in his claw and began the steep climb. Brave Terence scaled up the treacherous peak. His stomach was churning and his knees, they felt weak. Then at last he arrived, and with one final heave, what he saw at the top he couldn't believe. 1,000 plump apricots burst from a crack, more than could ever be stuffed in his sack. This, he was sure, could keep his friends from the grave. The mushroom and bumslug he now knew he could save. When Lilybean saw what Terence had found, she let out a joyous and wonderful sound. Ooh! As Merbles sat happily eating Terence's gift, something within him started to shift. From his rumbling, tumbling tummy, a squeaky sound blurred. Then he pooped out a bum drop right there on the dirt. It just sat there glowing, pretty blue and bright. Then all of a sudden, disappeared from their sight. Then up from that very place, something magical grew. Up sprang a plant that was fresh, green, and new. The proud mummy Lilybean stared on in awe. She was shocked at the beauty of all that she saw. It didn't take long before everyone knew of the magical plant life and bumdrops so blue. When Merbles was full and basked in the sun, the bumdrops kept coming, and a new plant with each one. There was a lot of excitement now starting to brew that Lily Bean's vision could really be true. Soon everyone was helping the plant life expand, each one of them eager to lend Merbles a hand. As Lily Bean watched, a tear rolled down her face at the bustling activity which all round her took place. They all worked together, such a wonderful sight. The hall filled with laughter, and their spirits were bright. As Merbles thought back, he smiled big and wide. With pure admiration, he was thankful inside. For it was Lily Bean's love and Terence being brave that let him show his talent and the community save. He once was an outcast in a place cruel and mean, but now was the center of these gardens, lush and green. The end.